Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Business Mom Congress and my live podcast event called From Mom Mode to CEO Mode. And tonight you are going to hear from three incredible women and men who are not just building businesses, they are building empires, ecosystems, and legacies while raising children. Each of them represent a very different path, but they all share the same reality. They didn't wait for perfect timing, they built anyway. Let's start with our first guest, Tessa Black. Let me introduce you to Tessa. She is the general manager and co-owner of Beetl Skincare, a purpose-driven brand she stepped into after personally witnessing the impact of the brand on your own child. You left the corporate world to help scale something you genuinely believed in, turning lived experience into leadership. She will be sharing what it really looks like to build and grow a mission-led brand in one of the most competitive industries out there, while navigating motherhood and the pressure of scaling something that matters deeply. My second guest is Margarita Nazarenko. Thank you for being here. Margarita is a globally recognized voice in feminine psychology, confidence and identity, and the creator behind a multi-platform audience of over 2 million followers. She is an author.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a moment for
Yes, that's amazing.
She's an author. She's the podcast host of a podcast called Being Her, and this podcast sits in the top 25 global education charts. I need to learn a few things from you.
We'll talk.
And her work has become a reference point for women redefining self-worth and ambition. But beyond the reach and the numbers, what makes your story truly unique is that you build an emotionally connected community while navigating motherhood and leadership at scale. Tonight, she's going to unpack what it really takes to build, influence, identity, and business when the expectations are high and the visibility is even higher.
That's the worst person to come out. And then,
I don't know.
why should we burn?
Last but not least,
No.
let me introduce
She's
you
impressive.
to Leigh Dole.
She's got 5 kids.
She's the founder of Global Austria, a brand that started as a single salon in 2015 and has now evolved into a multi-location business across Sydney and soon internationally. She built a full business ecosystem, including healthcare product, training academy, creating a brand that extends far beyond the salon share. And alongside that, she's a mom of 5. Tonight, she's going to share what it really takes to scale multiple businesses while navigating pregnancy, early motherhood, and the reality of building while life is still happening around you. These are 3 very different journeys, but one shared truth: you don't have to pause your ambition to become a mother. You just build differently. And tonight is about showing you exactly what that looked like in real life. Let's get started. Was there a specific moment, a conversation, a feeling, a day, maybe that made you think, okay, I'm doing this?
Having my children, ironically. Before I had children, I went online. I did a bit of this, I did a bit of that, I did a bit of social influencing, a bit of acting. It was fun. I didn't have the money motivation, I'll be honest with you guys, because it's a smaller room. I didn't have the money motivation because I don't want stuff. I'm not stuff motivated. But when my children came, my son first, I was like, move aside. I'm making money. That means I'm making something that is purchasable and buyable. That means it needs to be amazing. It needs to be a product. It needs to be packaged in a way that I am not embarrassed to sell it. It should bring a purpose to people. And that changed it for me because I was not apologetic about selling something, a product or my courses or my masterclasses or my books. And my time became more valuable too. When people asked me to do something or go somewhere, I used to go to an opening of an envelope. Like I was just trying to make it in some kind of business. But then now I had to be really super focused because that meant getting a nanny, having my child crying when I left like they did today. But it meant it needs to be something I really want to be at that's going to build my business. And what that makes you is hyper-focused and hyper-attuned to what is going to move the needle for you. So I would say, ironically, having children made me successful. Odd, but true.
I love this. I think there is a real
Totally
truth
agree.
at finding something that moves the needle when you have kids, because your priorities change. You focus on what matters now. So all the BS around is disappearing, and now you're like, okay, what do I really need to do to go to the next step and take off all the noise around you?
I found that the noise was just something that I probably had imagined, all this confusion about what I should do or how I should present myself or what I should be. Also, vanity, and yes, I'm still a human being and I'm still vain and I care what I look like, but when I had children with me and I knew that I had to be on TikTok every day to build my platform, I was like, well, they're gonna have to take me in a t-shirt with puke on it. Like, I don't care, because what's important is my message, not what I look like. And if you care about what I look like, well, that's your problem. It's your eyeballs, not mine.
Thank you, Tess.
For me, it was actually trying the Beetl product for the first time. So I was on my second maternity leave and I used the nappy rash cream on my daughter. And I was working at Unilever, so I was working on brands like Dove and huge big brands, but I couldn't believe that like the next day her nappy rash was gone, and I kept like being like, wow, what is this product? So I actually reached out to the founder, Kirsty, who is an old friend. We went to university together, and started asking her about the product. And for her, at that point in her life, she was working full time. She had a young daughter, and she was like, can you just help me navigate a little bit of the Australian market? Where do I even begin? And so naturally I started helping out a friend, but as the maternity leave dragged on, I kept doing more and more, and then I just became so invested in the product and, you know, helping the other mums in the community, seeing all the reviews, seeing them come back with their before and after results, etc., that I just thought, like, there's kind of no coming back from this. So I was well and truly invested, and hook, line and sinker before my maternity leave was over.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Did you think this will happen when you went on maternity leave?
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all. Yeah, no, I was happy to like put my feet up and leave corporate for a year, but it all just kind of, once I was hooked in, I was like, this is the thing that I'd actually been searching for my whole career, really.
Your why.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Leigh, what about
Sorry,
you?
can you claim baby brain this later on?
It's not that late. She's going to ask it.
If there is a day or moment where you say to yourself, okay, I'm doing this. You know, I'm building this business. I'm going that way.
There is no time or moment, but I really think that if there's a passion or something inside you, and there's something in your belly that keeps saying, there's something there, and I think you're always in doubt. There's always like, you're not sure if this is something that you know, want to do or not do, or is it right? Is it going to make money? If that's your driver, then sometimes I don't know if that's right. But the reason I say that is because it's hard. It's hard because, like, you know, this morning I had 3 events on, and I had tonight, and I was like, I get up at 2 a.m. So it's sort of like,
At 2
if you
a.m.
don't have that passion, you're not, like, it's hard to get up. It's hard to do. So I do believe that it, like, with whatever it is that you choose to do, whatever it is you choose to dive into, make sure it's something that, you know, like a first date, you know, that little fire in your belly, and you wake up and you go, like, what I'm doing, I'm passionate about and I believe in. And I really believe that if you do that, all the other stuff will come, you know, because you have to have a purpose. And I think, as you sort of said before, I know a lot of people are sort of like, you know, there's guilt with being a mum, right? But I've sort of flipped my perspective and being like going, actually, I'm a better mum because I have a business, because I wake up with purpose. And then when I'm with my kids, I'm like, yes, I'm like, I feel like I'm showing them something. I feel like I'm teaching them passion. I feel like I'm teaching them to be, you know, to have something that you wake up and you have a purpose about is something that I think is really strong to show for your kids to see your mother doing, you know.
So true.
My mum was such a beautiful woman. She did, you know, nursing for the psychiatric. She had Italian restaurants. And after that, she gave it all up for kids. And I remember thinking, she lost herself after we all grew up. We all moved down. And then she was like, who am I? And I never wanted to do that because I'm like, I am still someone just because I'm a mum, and that's okay. You're allowed to be that. It's just how you do it and how you present yourself daily and how you manage your time, and that's okay. You don't have to have that guilt to do both things, and I think that's the biggest thing with being a mum. You're like, so guilty, I'm not present, I'm not there or whatever. So what's the punchline? I'm not sure, but I just think
Punchline's 2 a.m. That's the
2
punchline.
a.m.
It's true.
Just jump on what you said about identity shift and gaps. You know, when you become a mother, you are kind of in your own bubble, motherhood bubble, and you get a bit disconnected from everything else, and you lose a bit of your fire, a bit of your passion, and you're like, who I am, what am I doing? And I think it's really important to find your why, and you all found it. Find your why.
Find your why, because everything goes back to the why.
Yes.
Everything. Like, even when you're in business, every single business decision you do, you go, okay, does this make sense for my why? Because if it doesn't, then don't do it. It doesn't make sense to your why and your business ethos and your purpose, and then that's why. So, I mean, I always thought, I'm going to just jump into my other questions here, so I'm going to...
Yeah.
But, I think it's very important that if you don't believe in what you do and eat and breathe it, it's super hard, because those days as a mum where it's hard to get up, or you've been up all night and you've been breastfeeding or whatever it is, if you don't believe in your why, you're like, it's super hard to get up. So, yeah, I suppose that's the biggest thing.
Thank you.
See?
Tessa,
You're
you
so
spent
good.
13 years at Unilever. That's a big, strong career there. What was the conversation you had with yourself when you decided to walk away from security?
Yeah. Like, it definitely wasn't an easy decision. And I think, it all really came down to timing, to be honest. Like, it wasn't just throw in the towel and let's see what happens. So basically, when I was sort of, like I said, on my maternity leave, I became invested in Beetl. I was in that phase of working out, okay, what am I going to do when I go back to work? How am I going to manage Beetl with running my corporate career at the same time? So basically what happened was, at the same time I was invested in Beetl, but I knew Unilever was going through a huge restructure. At the time, I had spent 13 years in Australia and New Zealand, and the only kind of career progression was to go to London or New York, which wasn't an option for my young family. So I basically said to my manager at the time, like, if you can write me out of the new structure, then I'll take redundancy. And I think that's something that needs to be recognised. Like, you might have a great idea, but it's not that always wise or the best decision for yourself to just throw in the towel and just give it a go. So I actually had the financial runway and freedom from my redundancy to give Beetl a go, which I think has to be recognised as well. It makes it... Basically, I said to myself, I'm going to pretend that this redundancy is my salary for 2 years, and if it doesn't work, then I'll go back to corporate. So that was the conversation I had with myself, and it's been 2 years, so hopefully I don't have to go back to corporate soon. But so it was kind of like I got almost like a bit of a golden ticket to give my small business a go.
I think it's a fair point.
Yeah.
When you are so passionate and you want to go all in, you probably sometimes not always realize that for months you are not going to get any income. And
Years. Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that you may have a financial security, but it's still very daunting for independent women to accept the fact that they will have $0 income for months and they will be depending on someone.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important when we start and jump to think about it as like, I am ready to accept that as well for the love of good, for what is going to happen, because in certain way you lose your status.
I think if you can prepare for the worst, then nothing else matters, right? So if the worst is you go back to corporate, the worst is you just don't do that business anymore and it fizzles out. So when fear kicks in, that's, I think, a big thing to say to you. What's the worst can happen?
100%.
And then just go back to whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Plan C.
Yep. D, F.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Later, you talk about feminine psychology and identity. How has your own identity as a mother shaped the way you show up as a brand? And has there ever been tension between these two things?
Like I said, I think in the first one, I'm unapologetic with my time, with how I present myself, with what I ask for, with what I do. I think I am more I've got a rebellious type of personality. So when I hear people say that they can't do this because they're mothers, I'm like, wait, stop, watch me. So it's made me more empowered to prove something wrong. I don't want, and also a lot of my content is about feminine energy and feminine psychology. The most heartbreaking DMs and emails I get is from mums who are stuck with a man who's not good for them in a certain situation because they don't believe in themselves or what they can do. So that empowers me more. When I didn't have that leverage or understanding of what it's like to be stuck there or be a mother, I didn't have that fire, see, to have that understanding. You can only imagine. But now that I've lived it and know what postpartum feels like, know what being married to someone and having children with them feels like, I can empathize and be more unapologetically me so they can also be that in turn. So it's just empowered me. It doesn't happen for everybody. Sometimes women say, but it didn't happen for me. It's a mindset. It can.
I think I say that to young girls. I say, whatever you are doing in life, just make sure you know with who you are going to have a child. Because there is no step back, you know, like when this is happening, it's happening. Like you need to be sure about it. So I can imagine you are a mom, you are broken, and you are in a terrible relationship with no escape. This for me is absolutely nightmare on us.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to remind that to women, you know, like you can't have a child with anyone. You need to make sure of the dad.
Don't get me started.
Leigh, opening in David Jones during COVID, when most businesses shut down. Tell us about that. What went through your head at that time? Was it fearless, or was the fear there and you just moved anyway?
Oh, gosh, I mean, COVID was horrific for everybody. Like the uncertainty of what was happening, and it wasn't just in the bubble of Australia; it was worldwide. And I had probably 30 sponsored employees at that time. I was driving into the city while people are putting closed signs on their door, and I'm doing a shop fit going, what, nuts. Like, but I committed and I was there, and I don't know, I think it's quite funny. I've just launched a product brand, and diving into what the brand is and the ethos and what that stands for and what does your brand stand for. That's what's the main thing. Anyone can bring out a product, but your brand has to stand for something. It has to have. And I really so after COVID and everything sort of calmed down, like we were doing makeup in David Jones, and then after you did their makeup, you had to put a mask back on them to leave. So like it was horrific. So like events didn't come back, makeup didn't come back, no one was going out. Like we were putting masks over people's makeup after they left. That was like crazy in itself. But when I was launching the product brand, I was sort of like, after COVID, this girl came in, and I remember her sitting down, and she was like, I was like, how are you? And she like just teared up, and she had no words, and she lost her business. She'd lost her husband. They'd been locked down for, I think it was almost a year in Melbourne, and she lost everything, right? And in that moment, she had come to us for this small little ritual that was a blow dry and a glass of bubbles and half an hour of herself. And it was this, I didn't realise what my brand actually meant until that time. I was all about like hair and makeup. It's like, the your hand, your birthday, your wedding. It was like the pre-party prep. I didn't realise how deep human connection was and touch and feel. And after COVID, everyone was sort of like just in such a place. And so after that moment, my brand really grew from that. And so the whole ethos around my product brand is about the chain reaction. I don't know if you've seen it, it's got a chain on the box, but it's about everything we do on the inside is just something to make us feel better on the outside or vice versa. So those little rituals of having a blow dry, putting your lippy on. So my grandmother, who was 92, Roma, she used to tell me it doesn't matter if you're going to Coles, put your red lippy on, put your thing. And she died in 92 with a red lippy on going to Coles. And she had nails done and everything. And so it doesn't matter where you're going, but it's those rituals that you do that make you feel good on the inside. And so the product in this chain that I have is about the chain effect and the ripple effect of what happens when you do all these little rituals. So it was such a turning point for my brand to know that what I stood for and what my brand stood for was so much deeper than just this blow dry service. It was about human connection. And added to that, in my 2 a.m. podcasts that I listen to when I go to the gym, AI, right? AI was such a scary thing. And I used to think, oh my God, I can't dive into that. That's not, but the further I dive into it, but what it does is, and if you dive into it a little bit deeper, if you actually nurture what's happening in the world, and if you don't keep up, you get left behind. But it's enabling you to actually focus on what's real in a business. So the customer service, the customer experience. And so a lot of people are against AI, but if you use it in the right way in your business, and I think that's a really big thing. I think it's scary, but if you have a fire in your belly and you believe in something you do, and if COVID hits or something like that hits, if you have something that is, you know, such a clarity in your mind, I think you've just got to stick with it and just hope that, you know, you come out the other side. And I did, and I'm so thankful for that. But I do believe it's because I believe in exactly what the concept's about and the feeling we give to people, and it's so much deeper and then just a service. So did I even answer the question?
Yes, you
Yes,
did.
perfectly too. You went into AI and it was very nice.
Often felt like people underestimated me for being a mom, a woman, and an expat as well, I have to say. Did you ever feel underestimated as a woman or a mom, and what it took for you to prove yourself, not to others, but to yourself? What did it take?
Yeah, I actually think when I became a mum, I felt really like I was underestimating myself. And I think a lot of women go through this. Well, and from what I've had the conversations with, because like, you know, like you've gone from corporate, looking glam, going into the city, ticking all your boxes, like feeling like you're really kicking goals, to then being on the couch like a cow and you like just sitting there. And I really underestimated the job that I was just doing by, you know, giving life to a human. I think my first child. And, you know, like sometimes you can't even like have a shower before 10 a.m. or, you know, get the washing done, or just the basic things that I felt like I just really struggled in that period of just feeling like really underestimating that time period, which is quite sad because it was actually like a beautiful time of connection with your child, but going from like achievement to sitting around all day was quite challenging. And now I think I've completely flipped. Like with baby number 2, it was much more of a sort of appreciating that time and slowing down. But also now I just think anyone who undervalues a mum is just on a different planet, because mums are actually the superheroes of the world. And like I will forever, when I start hiring people in the business, we'll just hire mums because they're just so efficient. Like we were talking before, you know, you get half an hour and you're just banging out stuff because you've got such limited
Mum time is
time as
different
well.
time than-
It's just like, yeah, like when we were in corporate, like when I was, you know, single in the city, like we would just muck around.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, you've got an hour, the kids are out of the house, a soccer practice, and you're just like, let's go, you know, you're just kicking things through, and like the emails are flying, and I just think that women and mums in particular, and then also they're doing everything else, like, you know, obviously husbands do things too, but they're just not always thinking of everything like 10 steps ahead. So yeah, I think I understood myself as a mum, and I think a lot of mums do that, but actually it's an amazing gift.
Our time management and the skills that we learn, you know, that we acquire,
100%.
CEO skills.
They always say, if you want something done, ask a busy mum.
Ask a busy mum.
100%.
It's true.
The top 2 performing people in my companies are mums, and everyone else I've got to be like, so did you do the? And they're like, oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Margarita,
Yes.
did you ever feel underestimated, and how did you overcome this?
I didn't, because I grew up with a single mum who's Russian, and then my grandma was also a single parent because my granddad died, who was also Russian. So I was like, I can do anything. Women can do anything. And when people were like, I rely on men, I'm like, rely on who? Where are the men? My whole business is formed on like how to understand men, because I never had them around. So that is the whole life skill that I had to, you know, develop, of relationships and marriage. I was like, what's that about? Now I've been married 11 years. I'm like, that's weird. What's he doing here? But I never underestimated myself. What I did underestimate is what a mum gives to the world. Yeah. When I had my first child, I was like, right, quick, let's do something. And I wish I wasn't so hard on myself, because being someone's mum and just making life in general, even if it's creation when you're a woman, like life or plants or whatever, it's way more important than, I don't know, some corporate business. Like, stop. No one's going to remember you in the company that you worked for in 150 years, but hopefully your family will.
Yes, absolutely. Leigh, did you ever feel
Underestimated?
underestimated?
Never.
Many times. No, I don't know. I think obviously 5 children. There's been a different story for everyone, but I hid my pregnancy every single time. And looking back on that, I go, why? Why did I even do that? Like,
I did that too a bit, yeah.
I announced to the staff at 5 months in my blazer, and I was like, 5 months pregnant. They're like, what? We've been working with you so long. And then the next time was like 7 months. I came out in a leotard to do like, staff things. Don't know why, because it's actually your biggest credential. It's like, I think that everyone, you should say, your mum, yep, bang, you're in. Like, it's just the most powerful thing that you can have, because you value your time. Like, if you're going to take time out from your kids and go, I'm going to work, you're there, you're turning up. And I always say, some of my staff, I'm not listening, but all my staff that have kids and families, when they show up, they're present because they're there because they want to be. They're there to do a job and because they want to go home to the kids, And then, so I think it's really, it's a different mindset, and I feel like it's such a credential that you should put on your resume opposed to being ashamed of it. And I wish I did that later. But you're a different mum every child you have. Like, my first child taught me, who I was, and my last child is teaching me about who I'm becoming. I'm such a different mum every time, and I'm learning more every time. I offer like a non-mum thing. I remember being really humiliated on the news one time. I was asked if I could speak about pay rates. And I was like, yeah, I'll talk about pay rates. I don't believe, so we paid something like $70 an hour or something on a Sunday, and so it's really hard. There's no margin in it or whatever. And so I open because I want to be an affordable service every day of the week for your bar mitzvah on a Sunday and your christening. And there's so much on a Sunday. Sunday's the new Saturday. And then I got interviewed and they said, so tell me about pay rates. What do you, believe? And I was like, well, I don't believe it should be on Sunday. It should be every day of the week. And the media cut it up, and all they got me on camera was saying, I don't believe in pay. I don't believe in, and I got trolled by everyone. I got the union on me, and then all these hairdressers like, how can anyone work for you? It's the worst person ever. But I was saying everyone should be treated equally. It should be fair along the group. I just got off a cruise, and I took 40 staff on a cruise, which is another story. There was some drinks, anyway.
That's why you're nervous about the public speaking. They cut it up for different. Don't do that.
They cut it up. So I'm going to just say, I believe that all staff should be paid evenly. No, but so that was challenging. And so to not have your voice heard as a woman, I think that's what it goes back to, being not heard as a woman. It's like, sometimes you're going to be like put in front of hurdles that are really going to trouble, like, because I'm such an Italian, I'm like, no, I want to get on Channel 7 and tell everyone what I said and what I really believe in. You're going to have these hurdles, but at the end of the day, I think sometimes you just got to let your brand, who you are, your philosophy take the stage. And like in those moments, I just had to sit back and go, no, well, you know what? I'm successful. I'm going to grow. I've still got staff wanting to be with me, and I'm going to let that speak for itself. So it's super challenging. No one can prepare you for what's going to happen, but it's how you deal with the reaction and how you handle it. But yeah.
It passes as well.
I'm jumping on what you're saying about this media and how it has been not interpreted correctly. We are in 2026. Everyone needs to be online today. We need to have a strong online presence to grow our business. We can't live without it. I don't think we can. It's not easy for women to show up online, to put themselves in front of the camera. It's definitely not easy for me. I wanted to ask you if you've been through that. Margarita, I don't know if I should ask you now because you are the expert. But did you overcome imposter syndrome of showing up online?
I used to care about, again, vanity, what I look like, what people think. Do you know what a good antidote for that, for them clipping you wrong? Get a TikTok following and they'll be like, she's the devil. Then you look at it and you're like, whatever. The kind of unhinged things they say, to me, I don't read it. I don't care about headlines. You're not paying my bills. I don't care about you. So I think it liberated me because I was very fortunate that COVID, unlike for a lot of people, was good for me because I just went on camera and I started talking. A lot of people were lonely. A lot of people wanted to connect to reality and being a mum. I didn't even post about being a mum, but I could see I had a bun on my head and I was just saying thoughts. And it was liberating for them because also in the age of AI, they want to see real people. The more real you can be, the more down to earth you can be, the less performative you can be. Don't cry and go wild, but just like the more like an authentic human you can be, you're going to win. I promise you. Just go on camera and be a normal human on social media. You will have a following. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a difference between real and raw, as you said. You
Yes,
don't need to
not
cry
raw,
on camera, but people are craving relatability, honesty, connection, and I think the more you can be authentic, and if it's even recording a video in the kitchen with the kids screaming at the back, you know, and your hair like that. Well,
I do it.
Yeah.
What stops you? What makes you uncomfortable about it?
Well, I'm better now, but the judgment. I think we will come back to judgment. I think there are two
What are
things.
they going to say?
Well, look at her. She doesn't look great. Look at her. She
And
looks
then?
miserable. Yeah, and that's it. I know.
Half the
they're
time
talking
I
about
put a
you.
bra on, or I forgot one earring, and I'm like, just.
They're talking about you.
Side.
If they're talking about you, it's good.
When you had 5 kids,
As long as they're
no
talking
bras.
about you, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yes, absolutely. I think the more you do it as well, the more it becomes natural. I think you need to sometimes force yourself to say, okay, Monday, Tuesday at 10 o'clock, I record 5 videos and I do it every week. And I think the more you make it become a repetition or a habit, the more you become.
The only time that I've gotten a little bit apprehensive about it is my kids being recognizable. I've been in public many times where people have said their names, maybe 10 times. And I've been like, oh, what am I doing? That's become like a question that I'm not sure about, you know, because I don't put their faces a lot on camera, but sometimes I do in passing. And then I'm like, I don't know what that means now that people can say their names. So it's a little bit weird for me. That one, I don't know what to do.
It's hard.
Any
They live
suggestions?
in that day and age.
Yeah.
No, I don't, because they live in that
exactly.
world,
Yeah.
right? You know, it's such a social media. It's
Yeah,
all of
so
it.
that one, I don't know.
Yeah, social media is really a real struggle, and it can be such a benefit as well. It works very well for you, Margarita. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, like I'm posting the same video and I'll try to change. I was talking about that to someone. I changed my branding, I changed this. I'm like, something is going to work and it's not picking up. And I don't know, should I give up? Should I keep going? It's really, you know, this constant question mark if I'm doing enough or not enough or the right way, not the right way, because I don't feel I own it.
That should be the video. What you just said should be the video.
I think it's also how you judge success. You know, is it because you're getting followers? Is it
Correct.
your engagement? Is like how are you
Money,
judging
like
success?
sales,
I mean,
like what is it?
I judge success because every time someone has a blow dry and they walk out and they're like, yeah, I look hot.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, that is all I care about. If you feel good and walking out of my store, that's what I believe. If you're using a product or you're listening to you. I
Yeah.
mean, it's how you judge yourself and it's what your perception of success is.
Thank you. Margarita, I
Yes.
say on you, 2 million followers is a number, but what's the version of you that existed before any of these people were watching or following, and what did showing up look like when it was not that high in terms of stakes?
I don't, my brain doesn't comprehend that number. I don't understand what that means. When we're going to do my book launch on Tuesday, you guys should come. I think you two are coming. I don't understand that people are going to come and watch me talk. I don't understand the viewers that are there. When I see my numbers, I'm like, some AI has made them up. I don't comprehend it. So what showing up means is I was rigorous in showing up before I had numbers. I'm rigorous in doing it. I had 2 children while I was doing my podcast. I didn't miss 1 week for 3 years. Not 1 week. I had C-sections, not 1 week. I had no childcare, not 1 week. I just show up. No one's listening. Everyone's listening. I just show up. I haven't changed. Just the people came, but they came because I became authentic.
You showed up.
Yeah, I just as myself. Yeah.
You show up,
And that's where it goes back to the passion. It's like, if
Yeah.
you're not passionate about it, like showing up after a C-section and all that.
Yeah.
that's
The guy, I just showed up and I just
You do
talked,
it
and
for
I
you.
don't even look at numbers sometimes. That's Eleanor's job at the back. No one.
Physical location, Lizzie's staff, fit out. You are opening 3 new salons at the
I
moment.
can't imagine that.
It's a level of risk that's very different to an online digital business.
Very
How
hard.
do you hold that responsibility as a mum, and can you sleep at night?
She gets up. No, obviously not.
No, as I said, I get up at 2 a.m. No, I mean, God, I don't know even how to answer that question because there's so much to navigate with business. When I first started, I remember I put a sign on the door and I was trying to get a liquor license and everyone laughed at my concept. They're like blow dry and champagne in Bronte, everyone was laughing. I was like, no, it's going to be good. And, you know, you needed 3 yeses from the police and the liquor licensing board and the council, and I couldn't get it for a year and a half. So I almost went bust in the first waiting, just sitting there waiting. And then I found out that it was heritage listed. And I was like, oh my God, so I can't even drill into the ceiling. And then it was like that. And then, oh my God, I got to do a contract for staff. And how does that work? You
I
can't
cannot.
say this. And then,
That
you
gives
know,
me anxiety.
it's the bricks and mortar stores are super hard. And then, you know, and with ways going, marketing's changing so much and PR's changing. And how do you market and how do you do this? And I suppose the only thing I can say is that you need to keep educating yourself.
Yeah.
Every morning I listen to a different podcast that is out of my realm, like something that I know nothing about, like AI, which I think I'm a guru at now, but just really like diving into new marketing techniques or PR or a book or someone else's business and how they started it. And because at the end of the day, I mean, I hate to say this on camera, I'm just a blow dry bar, right? We just do blow dries. I'm not revolutionary. I'm not creating something different. I've just made it mine. I've changed how I deliver the experience. So, there's so many other brands. So some people are like, what can I do? What's the new magic idea that I can come up with to make money? And sometimes it's the slightest tweak in something that's already been done, but you deliver it differently, you show up differently, you put it. So I come from like an Italian background and I used to have to wait on tables. And I remember leaving school and I was like, I always wanted a wine bar. And I was like, well, you're a hairdresser. Like, why don't you do what you're good at? And I moved to Bali and I got out of hairdressing to get back into hair. Like, so I always wanted to be corporate with a briefcase in the city. And I thought, and then I got out of hairdressing, moved to Bali, had a bit of a meltdown, and then came back. And then I realised it takes you to get out of the industry to get back in. And when I was there doing that, I was like, I don't want someone on the computer. I miss people. And then it took me to kind of go, oh my God, what do I miss about hair? What do I miss about hairdressing? I miss that moment at the end where you're like, looking in the mirror, you're having your blow dry, you feel hot, you're not that cup of coffee sitting there for 3 hours, wanting to chill yourself because you've got to have these foils tinted. So I think it took me to get out of it, but I really, like, that whole thing was like, okay, so I'm taking two industries. I always say hospitality meets fashion like never before. It's put together. So every moment of a woman's life starts with a champagne in hand, and a cheese board and your hair and makeup done, doesn't it? Your birthday, your wedding and bar mitzvah, whatever it is. So yeah, I just think that if you slightly just tweak what you do and don't think outside the box too much, don't try to create something too much, just make something yours and make it passionate and make it like, a little bubble that you wake up every morning. And I have no idea what the question is.
I did the same thing. I took like feminine wisdom and just put it online. I mean, it's not like I made up psychology.
Passion. It's passion. Yeah. You can talk about it forever because there's passion about it. So yeah.
I love how Leigh was very stressed to speak, and you can't say
I know.
She was probably
It's because of that Channel 7 experience.
Yeah, I know. Very.
Okay, Tessa, can you share one concrete strategy, a tactic that helps you grow the business while being present at home?
Yeah.
Yes. Huh?
Yeah.
I know.
I think this is like one that it's impossible, right? Like I think once, when you own your own business, you're never fully switching off. That's the honest truth. And I think, look, I'm quite lucky that my husband also has his own business and we are doing things quite differently. Like we're doing a lot of the childcare ourselves and juggling the kids, and that's a choice that we've made, and it's definitely not for everyone. But I think what we do is we just like carve out really strict time. So during the week, it's like, this is when I'm working completely undistracted, because we both work from home as well. And that in that time, like I said, it's like we are just so focused. And then when the kids are there, then I'm with the kids. But it's not perfect. Like there's still obviously emails at the playground and they're watching more screen time than I want them to, etc. But I think just being quite disciplined on the time that you do have to work on the business. And, if any of you guys are young mums or you're kind of trying to carve out time, it is just kind of planning ahead and then getting those, just even if it's a small amount of time, but just that you can just fully focus undistracted. Nap times are great in the early days. When the nap gets dropped, you're kind of screwed. But yeah, or 2 a.m. slots, whenever you can,
right?
That's
fucking crazy.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Can I tell you how that came about? When you're waking up to your breastfeeding, you kind of like, then you fully wake up and then you start scrolling and you're awake. You're awake anyway. So it was sort of like these hours in the morning became like these like just beautiful my time, right? So I just got addicted to that. And so between 2 to 6, it's my time. I get about 10 hours work done. And so if I'm not productive for the rest of the day, or I'm present as being a mum, or I'm, around, I don't feel guilty. It's the guilt, right? It's the guilt. It's like, shit, I haven't got back to someone.
Are you tired?
I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, I can't do that. That can't be me.
Make it you'll pattern yours. Like whatever
exactly,
works for
whatever
yours.
works.
Like if
Yeah.
you're working at 2 a.m, cool, do it. If you're working in between sleep times, like just make your pattern yours and make sure you're just dedicated to that time. Because guilt's the biggest thing that eats at you. And I think if you've gone, okay, nap time's my time, I've done that, then you don't feel guilty after that because you've done your 2 hours of power at nap time. So just really managing your time and your guilt, basically. You're just always managing guilt. Guilt here, guilt there, stuff, everything.
Yeah. I think just building on that though too, like when you do have your own business, it can be quite a different experience if any of you are in corporate or because you're not forced to go into an office. Well, like at least for me, doing product business from home. And I think you can also slip into a habit of like, for me, kind of being like, well, you know, I'll do this later when the kids are napping, or I'll do this when,
structure.
you know, something's not happening and you're not being forced to like, you know, get the train into the city and sit there for 8 hours. So I think you also have to be quite, like, have your own discipline and take it seriously because, you know, like these women obviously have the drive and the passion to take it seriously, but you have to also give the business the time and energy for it to grow. And sometimes having to carve out that time and be quite disciplined is actually important.
Margarita, what does commercial discipline actually looks like on a Tuesday when the mailbox is full and the kids are at home?
What does commercial discipline mean?
How are you working on your business?
If the kids are sick.
Listen, she's working during nap time. I'm napping during nap time. I am not, if I want to sleep, I'll sleep. I want to I'm like, delegate.
She doesn't.
I work during, I have times of maybe it's a 28 cycle thing. I talk about feminine energy. I have like weeks of intense manic work where I'm like, everyone move, I'm working. And the times that I don't want to, I did not come to this earth to work. I did not come here to make some money. I did not come here for nobody's time. If I'm putting my daughter to nap and I'm like, yeah, I'll nap. Like, do you know what? Because that's going to give me energy later. I'm not anybody's slave to do something on their time. And if this business is not going to serve me and it's not going to make me happy, are they going to make a monument in my name? She did a business. Like, nobody cares, right? So I do what I want to do, and that's why I work for myself. If I didn't want to do what I want to do, I'd work for someone else.
Makes sense.
And that's that.
Okay.
Well said, girlfriend.
I hired people.
Napping.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'll hire someone to do that. I'll hire someone. I do the top 10% of what can't be done by anybody else. That is the content I make, the ideas, the courses, strategy, everything. Before I used to work harder, but I still work very, very hard. I don't have downtime. My brain's always on. I wake up at 3 a.m. I'm like, we need to email like somebody. But, you know, I try to be human.
It helps as well when you scale, I feel.
Yeah.
When you have a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I quit my job. Let's talk about it. I quit
Yes.
my job a year ago. And before that, my son always used to tell me, what do you do for work? You're a computer lady.
Yes, computer lady.
True. I'm a computer lady. And I quit, and my son was like, what do you do now? So I'm like, oh, you know, I have my podcast. Like, are you your own boss? Yes, I guess I am, technically. Oh, you're a boss. That's amazing. And I'm like, it's not what it sounds like. You know, it's not that
It's
right.
like a mirrors.
No, exactly. So my question for you, when your kids ask you, what do you do for work? What do you tell them? And has that answer changed as your business has grown?
Yeah, I can take this one initially.
Make it up. Quick.
Yeah, well, my kids think that because they use the Beetl products. So they think that I make a baby cream that helps other children. They kind of get that. And I think in the earlier days, we're only like 3 years old, but it was a lot more like they didn't see me packing the orders when everything used to get dispatched from our garage. So that was like that was quite cool because they could physically see the orders. They could, you know, help me with like putting all the courier labels on, the physical side of it. But yeah, now I'm just on my laptop, and they now play like computer lady, or my daughter pretends she's got a phone and she goes to me, shh, I'm on a work call. And she's only 2, and she walks around the house like, shh, telling people to come. Oh my God, like they're just a mirror of you, right? I'm like, I don't do that. But yeah, so they just think, again, computer people.
Margarita.
My daughter doesn't give a shit because she's a diva. So as long as I give her money, she doesn't care what I do.
She doesn't ask
No, she doesn't ask the staff what they do. My son, I went from being a nobody in his eyes, like she writes books, whatever, like does some, and then he found my play button for YouTube stacked away somewhere because I have a certain amount of followers. And he was like, Mom, where did you get this from? And I go, it's my play button, because he's seen Mr. Beast and people on YouTube get play buttons and stuff. Now he thinks I'm like Michael Jordan. Anyone who comes in at my house, they're like, my mom got this YouTube play button. I don't know what that means. I guess he thinks I'm a YouTuber, but.
Yeah. That's so funny. What about you, Leigh?
Oh, I don't know. There's very much the computer mum.
Yeah.
But they'll see you in the salon.
Yeah, but then they see and they go, oh, mummy, you make people look beautiful. And that's what makes me, I love that. I love that they know that I am making other people feel, and this goes back to the why I do what I do. Why do I wake up and do what I do when it gets hard? And so they all recognise that. So I think if I go, it's all over tomorrow, I mean, hopefully I'll leave a legacy with them that, really has stood for something that, she believed in, and she made people feel beautiful and empowered. And we're very much a part of everyone, like people's special days, and that's, very, it's a nice.
That's nice. Still better than computer.
Yeah,
Yes.
Get you later.
Okay, let's do a fun chat. Okay, please be concise. Okay.
Concise, one word. Come on.
It's for you, Leigh. Finish the sentence. The thing I wish someone had told me before I started building my empire while raising my kids is. Okay, Margarita.
Nothing, because I would have done it differently then.
Excuse me.
For me, it would have been like how hard it was, and the not switching off. And I think for me, because I've come from corporate to owning my own business, it's a real stark contrast. Sorry, 1 second. But in corporate, you
I say,
Follow
don't
the
think
brief.
about it.
Yeah.
Don't fucking think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, just fucking do it.
Yeah,
What's the
that's
worst
it.
that happens? I think, you spend so much, and do you know what? You're never ready. You're never bloody ready. I'm not ready
true,
now. I'm
yeah.
taking all these things. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Love it. Okay, kids. Yeah.
Please.
There you go, 1 second.
Once again.
If there is
What?
one thing a mum in business should start doing immediately, what will it be? One thing. Start doing.
talk
Educate.
about it. I can
Educate
talk
yourself.
about it.
Educate, talk about.
Talk about it with like, if you've got an idea, and find out who your target market
Spread the
is,
word, yeah.
and just get some feedback straight off the bat.
Because is there a gap in the market?
I'd
Yeah.
agree, educate yourself.
Yeah.
The concept of AI and everything, that's freed up a lot of my time. My content isn't AI, but just the ways that I can siphon energy into other things, research.
One thing they should stop immediately, what would it be?
Overthinking it.
Overthinking it.
And like waiting for it to be perfect,
Ooh.
like you're saying.
Yeah.
Being embarrassed of being a mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of mums are embarrassed, yeah.
Okay, now you can develop a bit. We are going to conclude, so we have a bit more time for the conclusion. If you had to give one piece of advice to a mum in the trenches right now, struggling with kids at home, feeling overwhelmed, she cannot see the light out of the tunnel, what would you say?
I would say just focus on what you are doing right now. Like if she's a mum in the trenches with her kids, then just focus on that. Because I think you can put yourself down with not doing enough, whether, you haven't launched the business yet or you're not kicking goals like you were at work, and just focus on that little baby, because
It goes like
they won't be a little baby soon,
They go on
and
and
you will
then you
get
have to
yourself
fight.
back. Yeah.
Then you have to do it again and again and again.
Margarita, what would you say?
I would say, let's get a bit esoteric. I would say God is worshipped for making life, because that is the most ultimate thing that one can do. And we in our society, because we worship money and patriarchy, etc., we think that having a business or money is the best thing in the world. If you remember that the highest achievement that the whole of human society has ever worshipped is making life, and you've just done that, give yourself grace. You've just done what is the most revered thing in the world. So give yourself a year. Nothing's going to run away. No one's going to burn down. Just appreciate you're a goddess. You've made life.
Great
Wow.
advice, yeah.
Whatever you do, yours. Like if it makes you feel better to do something for yourself, take that time for yourself. Because I really do believe whether it's a business, whether it's going to have a massage, whether it's going for a walk with a girlfriend and having a glass of wine because you haven't done that in 6 months between breastfeeding and you haven't put on actual clothes for it, whatever.
Man.
Do it, because that 3 hours or whatever you do, like you come back as a different person. So don't feel guilt. Just take a moment and go, I'm if I just invest in me, sometimes you're investing in yourself being a better mother. So just, just take the time to be thankful and nurture yourself, because if you're no good, then what are you to them?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amen to that. Before I conclude, what's next for you? Oh, and your business.
God.
Briefly.
You go first.
What's
What's
God.
next? You're opening everywhere.
What you...
Look, I believe a blow dry bar belongs on every corner in the whole world.
I do
One doesn't
too.
enjoy
It's
a
hard to
champagne and a
get.
blow dry.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of doing 3 shop fits at the moment, hence the baggy eyes. I'm launching a new concept for a nail bar. It's just about sort of delivering things in a different way. Not anything new, it's just a nail bar, but it's been delivered in a different way. I've just launched a product brand. I'm launching in Melbourne. So yeah, there's lots of things going on. But I can't say
Proud of you.
Thank you, Leigh. Margarita.
I'm doing my book launch. I've got book launch events. I am apparently going to America, according to my team, so I am going, I guess. It's going to be exciting, but it's big. I have already put in the proposal for book number 3 because I'm psychotic, so that's going to happen. And it's going to be more content, more things, and hopefully.
Do you take the kids to the US or they stay here?
That's the problem. They're trying to come with me, and the husband's like, "Please, can we come?" No, leave me alone. They're coming, apparently. That's the
You leave them
problem.
at the hotel
They're
or
real
something
drab.
like-
I'll be fine.
Got to buy them Airbnb, put them in there. Like,
They follow you everywhere. You go.
it's like having very poor friends who are always coming.
That's so good.
Tessa.
Yeah, look, for Beetl, we've just launched into Priceline, so that's a huge focus for us at the moment. Yeah, we've gone 200 stores, but that's
Really?
the focus. Yeah.
Wow. Sorry.
Yeah. So head to your local Priceline, guys. Yes, and then, so focusing on Australia, New Zealand, specifically Priceline, and then we will go to the UK
Amazing.
in a year.
Perfect. Thank you so much, ladies. What we've heard tonight is that there is no perfect moment. I think Leigh repeated it
Really showing
enough.
the shell inside.
There is just a decision point where comfort and calling collide, and you choose to move anyway. We talked about fear, identity, motherhood, visibility, risk, and growth. And underneath all of this, there's been one clear thread. You don't wait to feel ready, you build while becoming ready. And maybe that's a shift for everyone in the room tonight. That mom mode and CEO mode were never meant to be opposites. They can live together. They are meant to exist in the same woman, sometimes on the same week, sometimes on the same hour. So if you take anything from tonight, let it be this. You don't need more permission. You don't need more certainty. You don't need a clearer timeline or less responsibilities. You just need one decision to stop postponing yourself. Because every woman you heard from tonight started exactly where you might be right now. With doubt, with pressure, with kids, with question, and still they moved. So the only question that I have for you is, what are you going to act on next? If you want practical tips, inspiration, and strategies to grow your business, join my newsletter via the show notes and get exclusive content to help you show up online confidently. New episodes are dropped every Tuesday and Thursday. Remember to hit follow so you never miss an episode.